Skodatour de Luxembourg Stage 2 brings us from STEINFORT in the western part of the country bordering Belgium all the way to ROSPORT in the eastern part of the country bordering Germany. This is actually the border river between the two countries. Stage today 162 kilometers, slightly shorter than anticipated because we had to go around some roadworks which were not safe to pass. But still a very exciting final with 3 hills in the final 40 kilometers. 113 riders started, unfortunately not at the start line. Justin Jules, he crashed in stage 1. Luckily for him, he had no fractures but needed stitches on his cheek and forehead and could not continue the Skodatour de Luxembourg. Straight from the gun, 2 attackers, 2 German riders, with in the blue and black of Leopard Pro Cycling, Konrad Geschner, and of the Lotto Kernhaus team, it's Tobias Knoop, and then bridging across all by himself, the young Dutch rider from Team Differdange Geba, Wesley Mol, 20 years of age. He is the youngest in the breakaway. He was 93rd when we started the stage, 105th place in the GC for Tobias Knoop, and the best in the GC in the breakaway of 3 is the German rider Konrad Geschner in 12th place. So he has something to win today, and especially goes for the bonus seconds to try and get the white jersey. First bonus sprint was at STEINFORT after 13 kilometers, and that sprint went indeed to Geschner, and therefore inching closer towards the lead in the best young rider classification. This is the wonderful Basilica of Saint Willebrord, with crypts even dating back to the time of Charlemagne, but we are continuing racing. And quite early on in the stage we have the moment that the breakaway is caught and more attacks are happening from all over the place. 40 kilometers to go, a full hour of racing, and attacks are happening all the time with Dries de Bond, with Otto Vergaarde, amongst others of the Corendon Circus team in the breakaway. Many teams attacked. Very active were the Portuguese team of W52 FC Porto, also Corendon Circus, Vantigroup Colbert, and also Roompot Charles were very active at the front of the peloton. This is the first King of the Mountains of the day in Roedenhof, and that's where Robin Carpenter picks up another 3 points towards his purple jersey, meaning that he's safe for the day. He cannot be overtaken in that mountain classification. So that's it for Carpenter. Good 3 points that he took there. And then more attacks are happening with young Rémi Rochas from La Motte Servolex in the French Alps of La Derco Marseille team, and also many riders from the Portuguese team who, as I said, were very active. Also Nicky Terpstra trying to bridge across with one of the riders for the Roompot Charles team, and suffering all the way at the back of the bunch were riders of the national team of Luxembourg. Rain showers tortured the riders, but this was all the rain that we were going to get. But the wind was to become a very important factor in today's race. Another attack from the team from Portugal. They don't race that often in the north of Europe, but they have a very aggressive style of racing. Attack is countered by Dries de Bond, also Alessandro Tonelli is there, Ludovic Robet of the Wallonie-Bruxelles team, and many riders are trying to bridge across towards this first group of 5. Eventually we end up with 11 riders who break free, with former Tour of Luxembourg winner Maurits Lammertink among them in the orange jersey of Roompot Charles. A little bit of indecisiveness in the peloton makes that the 11 riders get some seconds, but counterattacks start happening pretty soon afterwards, with these 3 teams rally not represented in the first group. Same goes for Sport Vlaanderen Baloise, meaning that they have to chase and to stay in contention for today's stage win. We are in the first of 2 local laps. This is the longest of the 2, 32 kilometers with a second category climb and 1 bonus sprint. And then we go back towards the finish line in ROSPORT next to the Sur River, and there we have another lap to go with 19 kilometers with 2 climbs and 1 bonus sprint. So still everything to play for. Beñat Inchausti in the magnificent kit of Murias. Euskadi Murias is one of the riders in the break. Also pitleider in the Leopard cycling team, who was in the top 10 last year. Arjen Livins, Maurits Lammertink, Alessandro Tonelli, Ludovic Rebeet, some of the names who are in the first group. In this group is the race leader Christophe Laporte. No problems for him today, and they try to keep him safe as much as they can in order to bring him to the front if we are going to have a bunch sprint. This is the second passage of the finish line, the last kilometer of today's stage, but then we still have got one 19-kilometer lap to go. Still everything to play for, and Aimé de Gent knows that he is second in the classification for best young rider, and if he manages to take 3 seconds, he will overtake his compatriot from Belgium, Piet Allegaard, and that is exactly what Aimé de Gent does here, taking 3 bonus seconds, moving up on the leaderboard and taking the white jersey from Piet Allegaard. Clever racing by Aimé de Gent, and also taking some bonus seconds on the line is last year's winner Andrea Pasqualon. But look at the win there at the finish line in ROSPORT. In this lap, some of the volunteers of the Skodatour de Luxembourg even have to hold on to the barriers to stop them from falling over due to the heavy winds at the finish line. Another attack by Rémi Rochas. He was very active today, the 23-year-old French rider, neo-pro of Delco Marseille Provence, and he gets company of the Portuguese rider Joaquim Silva, who is currently 79th in the overall, 27 years of age, and then the Dutch veteran of ROSPORT Charles, Pieter Wening, 38 years old, but still loving the sport that he does, is bridging across towards the 3 leaders. One of the riders of Murias, Euskadi Murias, tries to bridge across as well, but he just cannot close that last little gap, meaning that we have 3 leaders at the moment, with Rochas in the light blue, Joaquim Silva in the blue and white of FC Porto, and Pieter Wening of ROSPORT Charles. Rochas, who had been attacking a lot today, drops on the climb, and Wening also drops Silva on the climb on the Michielsberg, the first of the 2 climbs. But Silva comes back to Wening, and this is a very clever moment by Wening. He flicks the elbow, indicating that Silva should take over, but we're already in the last kilometer, and the peloton is awfully close, with Pasqualon there, with Blankaert there, with Laporte there, with Grosu there. All the sprinters are there, but they still have to close the final 6-7 seconds to Pieter Wening. Wening attacks on that last little inclination in the last 500 meters, has 5 seconds on the bunch, stays clear, and wins the stage. His first of the year, the second for his team after Jesper Asselman's win in the Tour of Yorkshire, and the 13th of his incredibly long career. Pieter Wening does it again, winning on the biggest gear that he has, winning the stage of the Skodatour de Luxembourg in ROSPORT. Grosu wins the sprint of the peloton. Pasqualon takes more bonus seconds and moving up to 5th place in the GC. Blankaert, Albanese, Nicolai Brugner, Alexander Krieger, Silva, all in the top 8. Another yellow jersey for Christophe Laporte, and he will have to fight again tomorrow, but he already indicated that he dreads the weekend, that he is afraid that these stages on Saturday and Sunday will be too difficult for him, but everything's still incredibly close together, so we are going to prepare for an exciting weekend in the Skodatour de Luxembourg on Saturday and Sunday. These are the jersey wearers with a beaming Robin Carpenter. His day should be tomorrow with 25 points up for offer, but the star of the day is Pieter Wening of the ROSPORT Charles team.
Merci beaucoup.